artist for KMS, and I'm here at the Cal Creative Experience, and Bianca needed a haircut, and so I thought we would go live and show you just a little bit of new technique. It's kind of that butterfly cut, but we're not going to be doing a lot of surface layers. She likes to have a smooth surface across the top of her hair, but she does have a lot of hair and it's very heavy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of face framing. I'm also going to just adjust her layering pattern a little bit because she has some areas of weight, but then I'm going to dig underneath where she has a lot of density and give her some internal movement, and I'll be working that away from the face. So I'm going to over direct forward just like you would in a regular like layered haircut when you're doing the butterfly cut, and we'll get a little bit of internal layers that will sit underneath this top surface, so she won't have a lot of little pieces along the top, but we'll get a little bit of movement and then also a touch of layering, but internally, which is really going to work well with our beach style cream. It's the Conscious Style Beach Style Cream. It's a mouthful. It's a new product from KMS. So I'm going to work this to start. I want to get rid of this heavy area that I'm encountering right about here. So I'm going to come in, lift the hair high, elevate up to 90 degrees, and then I can see that area weight right about here. So let's actually over direct this forward. When you over direct the hair forward and cut, you're going to get a down and backward movement. So I'm going to come underneath and just gently carve out that heavy area. And this is working across the top of that hair so that we will eliminate a little bit of that weight. I think right here on the end, I'll work on top of my fingers. So this is a really quick way to just change the weight pattern in a haircut. It's just to elevate up high. And then you'll remove that corner of weight. And if you want to take a look at this, you can see just how that kind of eliminated that edge that we have on this side. And I'll deal with this in just a minute. So we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. And what I love about this type of a technique is that you can give someone just a different feeling in the hair without actually changing the layering pattern too much. And I'm really excited to add in that beach style cream. You can see the different waves that are starting to appear because we're here in Nashville and it's extremely humid here. Now, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Because layering hair is really a unique, kind of a different task to be able to layer hair and create something different that is beautiful. So I want to do a little slicing now. I always approach long hair the same way I would short hair, in that we want to create something that's flattering to the face shape. And with Bianca's face shape, what I really liked was that she has this nice, beautiful jawline area that comes in, a little bit more of an angular chin line. And we were talking about how if she ever decides to go short, I would love to take her into a bob right about here. I think Jacob said the same thing. So everybody wants to cut her hair into a bob. Okay, so we've adjusted those layers around the front. And now I'm going to just work this fringe area, bringing it up and coming across the top. Just a little short to long, lightening up that fringe area. So we're here in Nashville at the Cal Creative Experience, and we've got a big show tonight. It's going to be fun. And then classrooms tomorrow. Okay, see an area of weight right here. So I'm going to do the same thing I did at the beginning. I'm going to take that and lift it actually up and over. This is always nice to do when you have a mirror because you can see those areas of weight. And just come right across the top. A little bit of freehand slicing. And then let it drop all the way back down, which layers the top surface, and it works short to long. So it blends that right around the face, just really seamlessly. She had a nice haircut before, but it just had a little bit of some areas of weight. So I can see that again. I'm going to lift this up, across. So I'm going directly opposite the way that the hair is falling, lifting it all the way up and across. And then I should be able to see right here. If you guys can see that, it's the area of length and weight. So freehand slice that. And then watch the travel as we go back down. Here we go. Catch that. Sarah's doing a great job. That's short to long. Okay. I'll check through that front. Making sure our face framing is where we want it. She has gorgeous hair. We were talking, she's always had long hair, right? Mm-hmm. Always long. And the main reason is ease of styling. So what I was telling her is that a bob is one of the easiest styles that you can have. So I think I've almost got her talked into doing a bob at some point in time, maybe when we're up in Toronto. We have 2 more on-tour shows after this, or creative experiences, and they are in September, and we're going to be in Vancouver, BC, September, my birthday weekend actually, the 8th, 9th, and then in Toronto at the end of that month, end of September. So I know that there's still tickets available for those shows, and you really don't want to miss it. It's a great show. We were in rehearsals today, and it was really exciting to see all the models and all the different things that we're doing. Yeah, see how much more blended, and we just got rid of a lot of that weight that was there. I feel like there might be a touch more here. Just take your time with cuts like this, because you really want to accent the facial features. You want things to look beautiful for them. And a lot of times it's just a matter of kind of taking it slow, taking a little bit at a time, creating accent pieces. Of course, I don't know that I could do anything that makes her really look bad, but go a little bit right here. And my whole goal with this is that we get that backward movement away from the face. So if we were going to blow dry this and work it away from the face, that she would have just beautiful layers right around the front. And now let's jump into the interior of the hair. And I'm going to take this top layer right here, so almost a teardrop shape. Let's go right about like that. I want to make sure I'm not getting into that front, so here, this is going to be kind of like a lid on top of the invisible layers that I'm doing. And this is going to give us a smooth surface so she doesn't have a lot of pieces. It's a great question to ask your clients when you're determining how much layering to put into their hair. I always like to ask if they like to see surface activation, is what I call it, pieces on the top of their hair. And if they don't, and they like more of a glassy or a smooth reflective surface, you know not to place too many layers on that top surface. Because once you put the layers on that top surface, it ceases to have that reflection and that smooth, smooth area. So let me see, I'm going to grab my dry cutting scissors, my carve-in slides. And so I'm going to over-direct this hair forward. Because whenever you over-direct the hair forward and cut, you get backward movement. So I'm going to come just across here and place just some little short to longs. It's not in every piece of hair in this section, it's just here and there. So just working across that top surface. These are designed to actually push the hair. They have a curved blade, so they don't cut a straight line in the hair. So this is going to give us a lot of movement. Got a little down here. And just wherever I feel the hair is a little bit bulky. So we're giving her butterfly wings right now. Do we have any questions there, Sierra?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay. So these little pieces are just going to give us that movement that when we apply the beach style cream to her hair, we're going to have a very light, airy feeling to her layering pattern. You can see that's increasing a little bit of movement right there. So over directing forward, working into that interior. Now I have a relatively high elevation, and what this does is it protects the baseline. So I'm not digging into the weight of the line at the bottom because we want to maintain that structure. You could go and you could do this cut wet or dry. If I were doing it wet, I might work with a razor. Okay, back to the other side. Over directing forward, and in order to do the same motion working from the front back, I need to stand on this side. So I'll be here, just working across that top surface. Over directing forward. And the reason I need to work this direction, I guess I could work this way. It's a little bit harder to position yourself, a little easier when you can just keep your hand in line. So when you want to create these type of layers, what you want to do is your scissor needs to come in not quite parallel, just a little bit of an angle, catch a little bit of hair, and then lift away. Slide down and lift away. So I'm creating little short to long areas. Getting into the bulk of the hair underneath. I love this technique when someone really doesn't want a lot of layering. They just want to see movement, and their hair feels a little bit heavy. And that's one thing that Bianca mentioned, was that she felt her hair was really heavy. So that becomes a challenge then, is lightening it up without placing too many visible layers in the hair. My last and final step after I finish this is going to be to stand her up and then work around the face in order to see areas of weight and where I might want a little bit more movement. Okay, so that feels pretty good. There's a little bit more right here that I want to get. Right here. And as you can see, we're in the cutting room, or what will be the cutting room. I'm in here tomorrow with Jacob Kahn, and we are teaching a cute little Bixie haircut. There's a lot of ladies out there. Okay, I feel like that is enough. Do you want to feel that for me, Bianca? How does that feel to you?
Feels so light.
Feels lighter? Okay, good. Good, we got a smile. This is always good. Okay, let's let down this top. And I did twist it up, so when we let that down, we should have just a little bit of movement to her hair. Okay, and I'm going to have you stand up for me. And then I'll turn the chair. So don't sit back down. Just turn around and face me, I guess. Right there. Yeah, so you come over here. There we go. And put one hand here. Now, I always like to make sure that my client is stabilized before I start working around the face with my scissors because, because it's safer for them that way. So let's go ahead and tip your chin down. And what I look for when I'm doing this is I look for areas of weight that are falling over the top that I may not have gotten, like this right here. You can see how that has a little bit of a line. So a key to this, I see a piece right here that I want to get, is actually to just put down your comb and use your hands, because these are the tools that we can feel the hair the best, and we can really determine where the weight is. So just kind of looking and feeling, seeing with my hands. Come across the top and do just a little bit of back cutting. So the back cutting, we're just closing a little bit and then pushing that hair out of the way. So it isn't scraping along the hair, it's cutting and pushing. I'll finish this side so that we can kind of see the difference. I want a few shorter pieces. this is kind of in that top area where we don't want to see a lot of surface layers, so we aren't like short to long. We just have a little bit of texture going on. And then I think you said we could cut a few shorter pieces so when she does a little, whoops, a little ponytail. Sorry, I scratched her chin. Okay, so let's pull this over here. I don't want it to be a solid piece. I want it to just look like it grew out that way. So that's kind of, I like that right there. That's pretty. Maybe one more. And this becomes just very artistic in what you see, what you would want for balance for your client. Okay. You can see kind of the difference between the side that I've done, lightened up versus the other side and the pieces. So, oops, I keep scratching you. Okay, so here we go. Let's do this again. Tip your chin down a little bit more so it falls. So you can see how you don't really see like a visible layer in there, but we are reducing bulk and removing a little bit of length here and there. I always like to stand my clients up towards the end of their service. Well, actually, I do it 2 times. I always stand them up when I'm doing a consultation so that I can actually design for the entire person, not just from the neck up. And then I like to stand them up at the very end because you've been working on their hair looking down at them for so long. So we're always used to looking at things like this. And then you stand somebody up, and all of a sudden, especially for me, I mean, we're about the same height, so we're eye to eye. But usually they stand up, and you're like, whoa, it looks completely different. So this really helps us get in there and personalize it.
Someone said, love this cut.
Thank you. Okay, so now I want to give her a couple shorter pieces. Yeah, and it looks to me it looks very modern because it isn't, quite as precise maybe. Okay, so over directing, and I'm working across that top. They don't need to be 100% exact. Or I don't mind. If they're not, what about you? Those are pretty close. I can't wait to work in Conscious Style Beach Style Cream. One thing that's really exciting about KMS, I don't know if you guys know, but we were just PETA certified. And when you get PETA certified, it isn't just one product. It has to be the entire line. And they follow those ingredients all the way back to their origins. It's a really, really tough certification to get. So I'm really proud of that for KMS. Okay, get your hands in there for me and move it around. I always like to see what somebody does with their own hair.
I like it.
You like it? She can't see it, but she
No,
likes
I feel
it.
it's nice.
Good. Okay, so let's just check a little bit of balance here, make sure we're pretty good. Okay.
Someone said, with my Zoom, perfectly imperfect.
Yeah, perfect. I love that. That's great. Perfectly imperfect. Maybe that's what I feel like is more modern about it, is that it isn't exact, but it really looks balanced and pretty. Okay, so this is the Conscious Style Beach Style Cream, and it gives a really airy type of feeling to the hair. It's made with, sargassum. The only way I can remember it is if you think of sarcasm, but it's not sarcasm. It's sargassum seaweed, which is littering the beaches right now, and so they found a way to actually use it inside of this product as, I'm not sure what part it does. I just know that it works really well. That's terrible. Okay, so just emulsifying it, and then I like to, on long hair like this, pat it around the outside of the hair. So I'm going to have you tip your head forward, like so your hair hangs, and then, yeah, perfect. And then we're just going to take this and just kind of pat it around the outside. You can see that just real airy texture starting to develop. So I'm not trying to run this through her hair. If her hair were wet, I could definitely take it and, work some through and then blow dry it in. Let's see. But look at how much that just increased that movement around the face. Okay, let me see the back and turn. And tip your head back. Just like pat a little bit of it in there. It's a different way to work with the product instead of running it through your hands or your hands through the hair. It's just kind of on the surface of the hair. Okay, okay, back around. Okay, and there we have our butterfly, not butterfly, with wings, butterfly with wings. I feel like I've got one heavy spot right there. I don't know if you saw me keep going back to that, but it's driving me crazy, so I'm going to get it. Sometimes it takes product to be able to see what's going on in the hair if you want to develop a little bit more texture. Okay, there we have our Perfectly Imperfect, featuring the KMS Beach Style Cream in the Conscious Style line. And